Hi, we've just gone through a little bit of a sale function here. We've made a bunch of sales recently, and consequently with sales, we have dealt with a bunch of pre-purchase exams. So our little bit of barn banter tonight is that we're gonna kind of discuss what we expect and maybe you should expect when you do a pre-purchase exam. With the availability of putting videos on the internet and looking up show records and everything that happens, I would say we sell a fair amount of horses that they really never come ride. They do a pre-purchase. We'll do videos.
A lot of repeat
FaceTime.
customers know what they're getting, when they contact us, and fortunately, most of them are GSR horses, and they know they've had one before or have seen them shown and what they want. So a lot of times they don't come and ride them, but almost inevitably, all of them. 90% of them go through some sort of a pre-purchase exam, and we want to share kind of our thoughts when we have one done that we're doing for a purchase of a horse. Just share some thoughts, and I believe they're an incredibly great tool to help in the buying decision, and I'm sure that most of you probably know this or feel this way, or I know other trainers and owners feel this way, but pre-purchase exams are no longer a pass or fail type of tool that we use. It is gathering more information. Horses are athletes. We ask for a lot out of them. What is it going to take to keep them physically and mentally sound, that they can perform at a high level, at peak performance is what I kind of refer to it as. And so, when you go to ask for a pre-purchase, know what you want done. How many x-rays? What do you want x-rayed? Do you want just naviculars, ankles, hocks, knees? Know what you want done. Talk to your vet about it. Talk to your trainer about it. Have a thought process to yourself. If you're doing this on your own by yourself, have an idea of what you want to know. What do you need? What information is important to you. Understand that almost any more horses are going to come with some sort of an issue. When I started back in this, my vet and I talk about this a lot. 2 or 3 things. When I got my first horse when I was 8, that's over 60 years ago. And our horses went out at night, in during the day. We started showing right away. But they walked and they ate grass and they had sunshine and that is how horses develop bone strength and structure, and today our show horses are so pampered. They live in a 10 by 10, 10 by 12, 12 by 14 stall inside, limited motion, limited walking. We've tried to substitute natural grass nutrients, micronutrients, all with hay and grain. It's not the same. You cannot trick Mother Nature. So the horses of today are not like they were 50 years ago. The other side of it is that technology has grown so far. I am sure that 50 years ago there were a lot of horses that would not, quote unquote, pass, or I would not purchase with the technology we have available today, with fluoroscopes, digital x-rays, MRIs, if you needed to have that done. We've had several, not as a pre-purchase, but as a diagnostic tool, had MRIs done. Those things were not even thought about, let alone heard of, 40, 50 years ago. So with so much more technology, you get so much more information, it's got a little, it's got a little bone spur here, it's got a little arthritis developing here. Oh, I can't deal with that. They've got to be perfect. No horse is perfect. Know what you're comfortable with. Know what information you want to know. What are you willing to deal with, and what is something you can't deal with? Talk to your local vet. What are they comfortable with? As I talk to my vets, plural, it's their job to maintain them and keep them sound for me. That is their job that I hire them to do. And what are they comfortable with? And one of the vets has a lot higher comfort level. Well, we can do this, do that, and we can get a long lifetime out of them and keep them comfortable and sound. This is not an issue, Brent. It's easy to manage. Another vet may say, "Yeah, I'm not interested in that. That's too much out of my comfort zone to maintain a horse with that particular problem, whatever it shall be." And so, just as everything, you got to have a plan. Know what you want to know, what you need to know, what you're comfortable with, and do not ever approach a pre-purchase as a pass or fail type deal. It just, whether it falls within your comfort zone or not. And that is our advice, my advice, our advice. It's how we approach pre-purchase exams.
It's also, there's an element of risk that we would be willing to take if the horse is fit for the function that we need it for.
Correct.
We've looked around and we've tried to find a walk trot horse for a little child that is as pretty and as kind and as easy to ride, and we do a pre-purchase and we find out that it's got arthritis, or it's got early navicular changes, or it's hocks are fusing. If that horse really fits the bill for that person, Brent's talked about our veterinarians. Yes, we're way into proactive treatment of our horses with injections. We feed a lot of supplements, but we're fortunate. We have got great blacksmiths, and our blacksmiths read the x-rays, our blacksmiths
talk to the veterinarians,
yes,
consult,
and shoe according to what the x-ray says. So there have been many horses that we've been able to keep functioning because it fit the specific need that we needed for the person that we needed that horse for, right, instead of just flunking them. And I'm going to go back to, we had a 2-year-old one year, sold him as a 3-year-old. He was the world champion 2-year-old Western Pleasure horse. His x-rays as a 3-year-old were some of the biggest disaster that you would have ever wanted to have looked at. And that horse lived to be, I think, 19 years old, showed up until his last year of life. He kind of died on a fluke type thing. But that
got hurt, did not die,
no,
because he was lame or hurt.
And
he got injured.
Multiple wins, big wins for multiple people. And so that horse was just what I'm going to refer to as stoic. They took care of him after we sold him. He was in the show pen for a long time. So that you look at those x-rays and they say that they're a little bit navicular, and it is what it is. So there's just so many more things we could do. 20 years ago, navicular was a kiss of death. Today, it's more like a syndrome that we need to work around so that we can keep that horse happy and healthy and working on the function that we need them to provide for us. So keep yourselves a little more open-minded as it relates to, well, they found this, they found that, and it's always a surprise. You never know. A horse may be 8 years old and has never taken a bad step, and when we go to flexing them, which some veterinarians will tell you, you really put a lot of pressure on them that
Stress, yeah.
is something that they really wouldn't see in the real life, and they're going to jog off lame. Well, I laugh all the time, and if I had to go through a pre-purchase exam, I would be humanely euthanized because of some of the extensive pressure that would be put on joints. So you need to just really keep an open mind when you do a pre-purchase and not just figure, well, they didn't pass, on to the next one. If you've looked at a lot of horses and this one really fits the bill, sit down, have a discussion with your veterinarian.
And your blacksmith, I skipped that part, but Julie brought it up, and it takes both of them. It takes all of the team members to keep the team winning, and functioning. So not just your veterinarian, Julie, your blacksmith as well. They're all equally important.
And you really figure out, go back to the owner. Sometimes we've had way more surprises in our lifetime about things that would come up that we're like, whoa, this took us totally by surprise. And you go back to the owner, negotiate with them a little bit more, because now that they know they have this problem, what are they going to do with the horse? And a good seller or broker,
Right.
once we find out that we've got issues in a pre-purchase, they're going to be disclosed to anybody else that's going to come along and look at that horse.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, we found about it, now we have to find somebody that's not going to pre-purchase it and keep our mouths shut. So they may be willing to negotiate a deal with you as it relates to how it fits for your function. We just had one recently that didn't pass one veterinarian. Okay, this is really kind of funny. Didn't pass one veterinarian. So we're leasing it for another one of our clients because our veterinarian and our blacksmith just conferred on it yesterday, and they don't see that big a deal with it. They think that we can keep her sound, and here I've been discussing it with the owner. What are we going to do? She really needs to sell her. Well, it's really not going to be that big of a deal to keep her put together, and then at the end of the year, if this lease is done, however she maintains herself, she's probably still pretty marketable. But it was because our veterinarian and our blacksmith is comfortable with knowing how we will treat them. And so it really is not something that you go into, well, didn't pass the selection test, we're out of here. So just really look at your horse and whether or not that horse is really going to take care of the need that you were looking to purchase for at this time.
Yeah. It's, be open-minded. Again, have a plan. Talk to your veterinarian. Talk to your blacksmith. Find your own comfort zone of what you're willing to do. And when you're talking to those people, ask what, a worst case scenario, what is it going to cost? Because this isn't going to come necessarily cheap. You've got to budget and understand that it will take money to keep this one sound. But if it does the job and serves the purpose for what you're buying the horse for, and it's going to be safe and you're going to have a fun time and enjoy owning that horse, it's worth the investment. And that's what you got to get comfortable with.
So give it some thought. I guess my last bit of advice is always make sure that most of the time, especially if the horse is far away, that pre-purchase is done by a veterinarian that you don't know. So we've recently gotten to the point to where we ask for videos of the flexion tests. So those videos come back to us and the videos come back to our veterinarian, and they can look at them And if you're doing x-rays, make sure that your veterinarian's looking at them, because that's the person that you're gonna work with in making sure that this horse stays as sound as you need it to be, so that it does what you need it to do in your plans.
Yep.
So, thanks for listening to us. It's our barn banter for tonight. If you like these types of videos, there will be more, so like and subscribe to us on YouTube and see what next topic we come into discussion about. Okay, have a good